I have my slow cooker, and it's time to show you some of my favorite slow cooker recipes. First, I'm going to show you how to make tender and juicy Marry Me chicken right in the slow cooker. It's one of my favorites, and I'll show you 2 other ways to make delicious dinners any day of the week. In your crock pot, slow cooker, so good. Okay, so here I have close to 4 pounds of bone-in chicken breasts. These are 2 split chicken breasts that I cut in half, and 4 drumsticks. If you're using boneless chicken, cook time will vary, but I'm going with what I've got. This is around 3 3/4 pounds of bone-in chicken. Here I'm going to make a seasoning, and I'm starting off with like 1.5 teaspoons of paprika. Actually, I'm using smoked paprika. I don't have much onion powder left, so I'm just going to add the rest of it in here. I'll have some dried dehydrated onion that's going in, but 1 tablespoon of onion powder is what I typically use. Here I'm going to add some garlic powder. I'd say 2 teaspoons. Here I have dried Italian seasoning herb blend, 1 tablespoon. I'm going to add some crushed red pepper flakes. We'll go like 2 teaspoons of that. I'm going to add some cracked black pepper. I'm going with chicken flavored gravy. This is also going to help thicken any rendered natural juices from the chicken. Okay, so I'm going to add an extra pack of the chicken gravy. Okay, so 2nd pack going into the mix. And then you give it a mix. And this is what I'm going to shake all over my chicken into the slow cooker. Okay, so bone-in chicken going into my slow cooker, and then just shake in. Even if some hits the bottom, that's fine. We're just going to shake it all in. Going to give this, just kind of put everything, coat it as best as you can. Again, at some point I'm going to give this a mix. Okay, here I have sun-dried tomatoes. These are going in. Let's start with the 1/2 cup. I might leave extra. But this entire bag I'm probably going to use. This is a 3-ounce bag, 85 grams of julienne cut sun-dried tomatoes. They are not in oil. If you have those, that's fine. Okay, that's going in. Okay, so because I am using double the chicken gravy, I am going to add 1 cup of water into the crock pot as well. I'm going to plug it up. I'm going to set this to high and let that cook. Okay, so a couple of things. Everything is in the slow cooker. It's cooking on a high temperature setting, and the cook time will always vary. I always say that in my videos, because if you're working with cold chicken, or sometimes it's just the slow cooker you're working with. I have one that takes forever to cook as opposed to some of the other ones that I have. Also, if you want to use fresh onion and minced garlic, please add that, because that is also delicious and a great thing to use in this recipe. I just like the convenience of powdered ingredients sometimes, but you do what you must. Make this recipe your own. It's still good. I'm going to be adding some baby spinach, like a couple of handfuls, and I have the rest of these tomatoes, these grape tomatoes that need to be used. So I'm going to be using some freshly grated Parmesan cheese, maybe like a 1/2 cup. I have it already in my little grater, and some 1/2 Heavy cream works best. I only have 1/2. This is what we're working with. We are 3 hours in. This chicken is pretty much done. You see how it has thickened any rendered juices and that water that we added? Oh, this smells amazing. So now I'm going to add the tomatoes. I'm going to add probably like 1 cup of 1/2. And now I have my baby spinach leaves, and just like a big handful goes right on top. Okay, now I'm going to just grate in my Parmesan cheese. Okay, so now I'm just gonna put everything in, just kind of mix it, press it in. Okay, so I'm going to let that cook for an additional 30 minutes on high after adding the 1/2 grape tomatoes and spinach and the Parmesan cheese. So as a garnish, I'm going to finish with fresh basil leaves that I just sort of chopped there, and the rest of the julienne cut sun-dried tomatoes. Okay, gonna go in. Oh, this smells amazing. There we go. And in the slow cooker. I mean, oh, so good. Oh my gosh, perfect. Tender marry me chicken. Easy, delicious, and perfect for any day of the week. So the marry me chicken came out so good. Let me show you other ways I love to use my slow cooker when I'm making dinner. Today I'm making creamy Chipotle Crack Chicken spaghetti in the slow cooker. This is going to be good. So to get started with this creamy Chipotle Crack Chicken in the slow cooker or crock pot, I'm working with 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breast. This is a little over 2 pounds. I also have 3 chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. I chopped them up finely and I added 2 to 3 tablespoons of the adobo sauce that it comes in. I'm going to be adding some garlic powder, onion powder, an 8-ounce block of cream cheese. I'm also going to be adding some smoked paprika, 12 ounces of Mexican table cream. I like this instead of heavy cream because it's thicker, but heavy cream works. I'm also going with a 1-ounce package of ranch salad dressing mix. And I will be adding some salt and cracked pepper to season the chicken with, and it's going to be good. Okay, into a 6 to 8 quart slow cooker, I'm going in with my chicken. I'm going to add my onion powder, like a teaspoon. This is granulated onion powder. A teaspoon of granulated garlic powder. I'm going to season here or add my salt, like a teaspoon. Half teaspoon of cracked black pepper. Going in with my smoked paprika. I actually need to spread this out. Just kind of this onion of smoked paprika over this piece here. I'm going to go in with my block of cream cheese. I'm going to go in with my table cream. I'm going to shake in my ranch seasoning mix and my chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. I'm going to cover with a lid. No liquid as far as like broth or water went into this. The chicken will produce or render its own juices. I'm cooking this on the high for about 3 to 4 hours, or you can do low for somewhere like 6 to 8. And I'm just going to let that cook. I'm not even going to stir. I'm just going to set it and forget it. Right around the 2.5, 3 hour mark, I will check it, and then probably going to shred it in the crock pot and add some cheese. Okay, so it's time to shred the chicken. We're 3 hours in, and I think it's ready. You want to make sure the chicken's cooked through and it's tender enough to shred. Okay, blend everything together. Could get messy. You will have a little bit of stuff splashing, but for the most part, let me just press it first to kind of break apart. Okay, so that's mixed. Here I have like a 1.5 cups of shredded mozzarella cheese going in. Okay, so here I'm going to cover this back with the lid, and I'm just going to put this on keep warm. Here I have 1 pound of spaghetti pasta boiling, and once this is cooked, I'll reserve a little bit of pasta water, drain the rest, and add it to the slow cooker. You could also boil 1 pound of penne, 1 pound of fettuccine pasta. It all works. I love doing this. Okay, so my pasta is boiled. So now it's time to give everything a great, wonderful mix. So here we go. Drained pasta going in, my spaghetti. And now we're going to mix. And if you want to get things creamy, oh, well, that looks amazing. If you want to get things a little creamy as you're mixing in the pasta, this is why we reserved some pasta water. I'm going to go in with a little bit. Try not to make a mess. And there we go. And just give everything a really good mix. Ah, this smells amazing with the chipotle and the smoked paprika in this. Today, I'm being lazy, but that's not going to stop me from making one of the best slow cooker fall off the bone chicken dinners. With creamy mashed potatoes, I use a mashed potato hack and roasted asparagus. Look at this, the perfect bite for a lazy day. To start, I'm working with thawed, rinsed chicken drumsticks or chicken legs, and they're going into a 6-quart crock pot. So I'm going to season with some Montreal chicken seasoning. Here I also have some onion powder, salt-free lemon pepper. I'm just going to add the rest of that bottle into 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. And I'm also going to be using some original all-purpose blend. It's like a seasonal salt. Here's garlic powder and smoked paprika. Season your chicken how you like. Eyeball it. I do. I'm also going to be adding chicken bouillon powder into the mix. So I'm just going to combine all of these, and this is what I'm seasoning the chicken with. So here, I'm just going to shake on part of it. I have my hand gloved because I kind of want to mix it in. You probably could do this in a bowl to make life easier, but you know, I like to make things hard on myself. Okay, so just going to sort of coat the chicken as best as I can, give that a mix. And then I'm just going to shake in the rest. Actually, I'm going to remove this glove. Carefully kind of put it inside out. There we go. And now I'm going to shake on the rest of the seasonings. Season how you like. You actually do not have to use any of these seasonings. You can use any rub or seasonings you prefer. This is just an easy recipe for slow cooker drumsticks. It's so simple. Cover with the lid, and I'm going to set this on high and let it cook until the meat is cooked through and tender. It's going to take minimum like 3 hours. Cook time always varies. So I'm going to make these boursin mashed potatoes. It's really just this boursin cheese with mashed potatoes. So I'm going to peel these. You could use gold potatoes. I like russet. I find that russet potatoes, when you're mashing potatoes, just gives a creamier, velvetier texture. On a side note, I am not a professional chef or cook. So if you disagree that the russet potato is a superior potato in mashed potatoes, I probably would say you are correct. You might know more than me. This is just what I prefer. And it's usually budget friendly at my local grocery store. Okay, so I'm going to rinse these potatoes really well. I'm using definitely over 1.5 pounds of russet potatoes, maybe 2 pounds. And I'm just going to chop these into chunks, place them in my pot. And I'm going to cover this with maybe like 1/3 to 1/2 inch of water over the potatoes. Now I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of chicken bouillon powder. You could add maybe like a teaspoon or so of salt if you don't want to add that. I like this. Right into the water, and then cover with a lid, bring to a boil, let it simmer until fork tender. Now I am going to make roasted asparagus. Here's another little chefy tip. Just break one, and wherever it breaks, that's where you want to cut. And I don't remember where I saw that. I'm pretty sure I saw it when I was younger on a cooking show. I used to love watching cooking shows on PBS. Okay, so I'm going to clean all of the asparagus. And by separating it from the rubber bands and doing this, you know, you get to weed out things that you don't want to eat, like this. And I'm just going to continue rinsing, making sure there's no debris. I'll probably rinse it once or twice. But yeah, you definitely want to do this. Actually, this asparagus is really thin. I noticed that in my local grocery store, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm going in with some avocado oil, and I'm going to season with McCormick's lemon pepper. That's it. So really simple. Like I always say, season things how you like. If all you have is salt and pepper in your pantry, you know, do that. That works. You know, I understand that people, when they are cooking, they don't have this like extensive, plentiful, bountiful pantries to work with. I get it. So salt and pepper works. Okay, so let's just spread this into a single layer on a baking sheet with parchment paper, and I'm going to roast these at around 425 for maybe 10 minutes or so. It's not going to take long because these are really thin. Okay, crockpot chicken is basically done. This took 3.5 hours on high. It also depends if your chicken is going in cold. If it's super cold, it will definitely take a longer time to cook through. But this is falling apart, and I want this morsel for myself. So my mashed potatoes should be done. I'm using a chopstick. Fork tender works. No resistance on the chopstick, so these are cooked through and tender. I'm going to strain out all the boiling liquid, but I will leave around ½ cup in the pot for flavor. I'm going to unwrap this Boursin cheese and just put it right into the potatoes. Honestly, this idea is on their website. I remember this was like a mashed potato hack not too long ago. I'm adding hot milk. I put the milk into the microwave. That just helps to keep things warm as you're mashing these. And just combine everything together with the milk, the Boursin cheese. You can add salt and pepper to taste, and those are the mashed potatoes. I don't know, they are really good, and adding the chicken bouillon powder to the boiling liquid really does add great flavor. I know people like to boil potatoes in chicken stock or chicken broth. That also works. By the way, if you are new here, welcome to my channel, Simply Mama Cooks, where you can find easy recipes, subpar recipe video edits, and personal stories you didn't ask for. Welcome. Okay, mashed potatoes done. So my asparagus is done at this point. It did not take very long at a 425-degree Fahrenheit oven. Simply seasoned with a lemon pepper seasoning. That's it. These are done. So asparagus, delicious. Mashed potatoes are creamy and flavorful. And these are tender, fall off the bone chicken drumsticks. Okay, so I'm going to plate dinner because everyone is hungry. And I can't wait to dig into this comforting, cozy meal. Look at this. And check this out. The sauce at the bottom of the slow cooker thickened because of the all-purpose flour and the seasoning that I kind of shook onto the chicken. Okay, going right over because it's so flavorful. And this is dinner. Very simple, very easy. I'm going to keep this in rotation because it's so good. I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like it. And thanks for watching.